Mendiola Rao, the ambassador of the Republic of the Philippines to the State of Israel. She has gracefully agreed to speak with us. I'm going to be showing her PowerPoint in a minute. And then there'll be 3 questions if we have time for them at the end. Thank you, Your Excellency. I'd like to, Melissa, if you could spotlight her, please, if you can find her. And meanwhile, I'm going to share her PowerPoint on the side.
Sure, 1 second.
Welcome, Your Excellency.
Hello, Judy. Let me
Hi,
just,
thank you for being here.
okay, are you sharing my PowerPoint now or shall I
Yes,
share?
I am. I'm
Okay,
just
great.
waiting to spotlight you.
Yes, she's
You are
spotlighted.
spotlighted, and therefore everyone can see you and your PowerPoint together.
Great, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Just
So-
say to me next, and I'll move the slide.
All right, okay.
Thank you.
So good morning, everyone. To Dr. Tova Ben-Ari, hello. Judy, thank you very much. To my colleagues in the Diplomatic Corps, teachers, students, guests, parents, and friends, thank you very much for inviting me to this event. I have maybe as a short background, I was a former human rights representative of the Philippines to the Association of Southeast Asian Countries. No, it ran for about a year, and it was 10 countries talking about human rights. So when I say talking about human rights, I always think, hey, it's children's play, it's kids play. Even the child should know what it is. It is not just for the adults, it is for everybody. But maybe before I get into the UN Convention on Children's Rights, I'd like to take you all back to where it all started. So could you please move to the next slide, please, Judy? Okay, great. So, like I said, before we discuss the Convention on Human Rights, I think we should get the basics first. What is human rights? So, with that, we need to go back to 1948. This is a significant date for all of us, no? Because this was the year that the United Nations established the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. This is a document that talks about basic human rights, the rights that all people have just because they are human. Next slide, please. Okay. So to get a clearer context of why the UN agreed to have the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, it is very important to know what the world was like prior to 1948. At that time, the world was characterized by problems such as wars, conflicts, violence, discrimination against women and children, and ordinary people, and racism, gender, color, race. It was the absence of democracy. It was a dictatorship. There was arbitrary arrests for political views, for religious views, and there was slavery, basically regarding people as slaves. You would know it in your history, and I'm sure you've discussed this in your history classes and through movies and TV shows that before 1948, the world experienced World War I, World War II, and in Israel, the Jews experienced the Holocaust. Next slide, please. So life before 1948 was miserable. People started protesting until the UN, the United Nations, met and adopted the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. The idea was that all people are equal and should enjoy the same rights. Next slide. So the declaration has a long list of articles that are called as rights. And these are just some few examples that all people must have: life, freedom, justice and equality, health, freedom or the right to love, to have a family, education, work, to have a job, to have a home, a physical home, a shelter, freedom of expression, freedom of religion, the freedom to own property, and of course, the freedom to vote. Next slide, please. Now, this essence of the Universal Declaration on Human Rights was later on translated and focused in particularly on the rights of the child. So in 1990s, there was the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child. And here, like I said, the children are the subjects of the law, and it explicitly states that the children should and must have the same fundamental rights as adults, and that their best interests always is the starting point for any decision of any government that would affect the child. The Philippines, in particular, we ratified the Convention on the Rights of the Child in 1990. And there was the protection and the promotion of children's rights was viewed as simply not a matter of goodwill. It was a constitutional duty, a legal obligation, a development priority, and international commitment that we intend to keep. At this point, I'd like to share with you something about our children, the Filipino children. Filipino children are strong and resilient. They are strong and resilient, just like Israeli children, just like you. Filipino children go through extreme weather, very hot summers, some walk many, many miles to go to a school and get an education. There are also the typhoons with rains that you cannot imagine. The floodwaters reach at high levels, high as two-story buildings, for example. And they're very extreme levels, covering flatlands and even in areas where they are mountainous. We also experience a lot of earthquakes. In just a few days, a 7.9 magnitude earthquake on the first day of class in the Philippines happened. There's also armed conflict in some areas where children are at risk from bullets and men and women shouting that, men and women shooting at them, scaring them. And yet, Filipino people are happy. They are kind. They smile, they laugh, they play, they help their families, and walk the many miles to school because they want to get an education and a better life. Because education is the great equalizer for everyone. Without education, without the proper education, you will not be armed for the future that awaits you. Next slide, please. Next slide. I can
The next
only...
one,
Yes.
this one? With the children?
It's after that one.
After that one.
Yes.
This one with the hands?
Yes, that's the one.
Yes. Here.
Okay. So for in children's rights, children and the youth recognize that every child is a full holder of human rights. Children are not object of adult ownership. So your parents don't own you. Other adults don't own you. You are your own person. Children rights ensure that the children are protected from violence, from abuse, from discrimination, exploitation, while at the same time guaranteeing that their survival and development and the ability to realize their full potential is there. So the historic 1989 treaty on the UN Convention on the Children's Rights represents the world's promise, the world leaders' promise to every child that no one has owner rights over them. And like I said, including parents, and that their dignity, opinions, and developmental needs must be respected and protected. Can you shift to the next slide, please? Okay, great. So here, I showed to you, these are the various articles covering the UN Convention on Children's Rights. So it talks about what the child is. It's 18 and below. and all the different rights, education, social security, even life, birth, registration, everything is there. So all these rights, if your country signed in to the convention, your government is duty bound to uphold all of these different rights. Next slide, please. Next slide. Okay, so here, no, the previous one. The one before that, please. Okay. So here I'm just showing you a snippet where in the geographical location where I am in Asia, and in particular the 11 ASEAN member states. ASEAN, by the way, it's something like the European Union. ASEAN has 11 members. Everything is by consensus. Now, here we show this is how, at what level the different countries in my region have subscribed to the different protocols under the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child. It's very important for us in our region that the countries of our region are signatories to the optional protocol on the sale of children, on child prostitution, child pornography, and also the optional protocol on the involvement of children in armed conflict. The Philippines is not immune to the participation of children in armed conflict. It's something that it's something that's happening in the south of the Philippines, and it's something that we are very much we work with other countries, we work with NGOs, and the different government agencies are working together to ensure that the children are actually should actually be considered as zones of peace, where there is a child or where there's a greater concentration, for example, of children, that these children should not that any government action or any of the other other combatants should consider this area as a zone of peace. Okay, next slide, please.
1 second, it's not letting me. Hang on. I went into some sort of mode and I can't. Hang on a minute. Hang on, I'm so sorry. There.
Okay. So this slide, society must address the issues of children. And I'm very happy that the Ministry of Education has given me this opportunity to talk to you today. Society must address you, especially the most vulnerable children. This would include children affected by poverty, displacement, disability, conflict, online exploitation, trafficking, violence, and even family breakdown. It also includes children whose rights are often overlooked and access to early childhood care, inclusive education, mental health support, safe digital spaces, and society must allow meaningful participation in decision making that would affect them. So children must be allowed also to be involved in decision making. In the Philippines, we also recognize, for example, that child's rights must be implemented across institutions. Child's rights is not governed by just one ministry or one level of government. That is why for us in the Philippines, the national government, the local government units, schools, the health systems, the justice institutions, and even civil society and the different churches are very much involved in implementing the rights of the child. If a child cannot go to school or cannot reach school or is unsafe online, that lacks nutrition, or cannot access protection services. For example, if somebody is physically abusing them, then all these government institutions should come together to provide protection to the child. Finally, I would like to emphasize that children's rights are a shared responsibility. Governments must lead, but diplomats, educators, religious leaders, local officials, parents, civil society, and the private sector all have a role in doing this. In a world where many elements are connected, we also can learn from each other from across borders. So whether in the Philippines or in any other country where I have served, the central lesson that I have often mentioned is that when the children should be protected, children should be enabled, children should be heard. Because the true measure of a society is how it treats its children. Thank you very much. Todaraba.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. I'm going to stop sharing for just a moment, and I'm going to leave you on Spotlight. We have questions from some of our students who studied about your country, about the Philippines. And I'm going to share and call them one at a time. Just a moment, I need to share the other PowerPoint. There we go. Just a moment. Okay. Yes, it has. Okay, I'm going to go back into, one moment. Students, the three students that you know, one from Nafegolan, one from Shalabim, will you just please get ready to ask your questions? And I'm going to share the PowerPoint so everyone else can see your questions. And then Her Excellency will answer as well as she can. Yes, there we go. Okay, good. Okay, so Yeshivat Shalavim, Amichai and Naftali, can you open up your mic, please? And say, we're here. Do we see them? Are you there? From Yeshivat Shalavim, are you there? Okay, Nofe Golan, are you here? Almog and Raz? No. Shaked Darka, Matan, Noah, and Tamir, are you here? I'll ask the question then. Okay, so Yeshivat Shalavim had a question from Avichai Naftali that said, since natural disasters like typhoons often hit the Philippines, how is the government building resilient schools and healthcare systems so a child's development isn't disrupted every time a disaster strikes? Let me try and unmute you. Your Excellency, just 1 minute, you're on mute.
All right. So I mentioned a while ago about the earthquake that hit the Philippines just this Sunday, the start of school. This caused widespread damages, fatalities, and even tsunami warnings, no, across the Asian region, not just in the Philippines. So having said that, because the quake hit on the first day of school, there were reports of damaged school facilities. Some were partially collapsed. And then students were forced to evacuate because in the Philippines, normally the evacuation centers are the schools. Just like here, some of the mamads are in the schools, right? But the Philippines, because we regularly face typhoons, floods, earthquakes, and other natural hazards, primarily a lot now than when I was your age because of global warming, because of the environmental changes. Disaster resilience is now it's a very essential part of children's rights, no? So our government, we came up with a law that is actually called Children's Emergency Relief and Protection Act. So that means government agencies, the schools, it requires that the government should ensure that schools that they do not suffer prolonged disruption to education. Because for us, and for here, I'm sure for everyone of all the countries that we are here now, children's learning and development and the sense of safety should quickly resume as soon as after an emergency starts. So that would mean for the government now, we want to make sure that our schools are safer, we improve our emergency readiness, and we support psychosocial first aid. And so the whole theme is basically to be child sensitive and to make all of our actions resilient.
Thank you so much for that answer. I think it makes it really, really clear. And I think it's really important that it's for everybody. I mean, of course, we worry about children, and that's what we're talking about here, but natural disasters are a tragedy for everybody. So yes. So Nofe Golan, Almog and Raz, would you like to ask your question?
We learned that street children face high risks of abuse and violence. What specific programs or training are being given to local police to make sure that they are actively protecting homeless youth?
Okay, thank you. Maybe I will start with a description. Street children in the Philippines would normally mean to us in the Philippines, they would be young children below 18 and below, who would be um, begging for money on street corners, for example. One phenomenon is that this is a mafia. It's a criminal gang that exploits young children to beg because Filipinos have a bleeding heart. So they just come up to a parked car and somebody gives them money, no? And then there's another phenomenon that we have some of we have you have your Bedouins. We have an indigenous people in the Philippines that are actually that live on their boats, so they don't have a permanent residence. Now the thing is, when disaster strikes, when the typhoon season comes, they need to find safe shelter, so they come to land. Now these people then become sort of something like nomads, no? They bring their children and they end up also asking for money. So and then of course there's the real street children, an orphan who has whose situation has fallen through the cracks. So you find them on the streets also. So what do we do? No, we acknowledge that homeless youth are not offenders. No, we must treat homeless youth not as offenders. We have to view them as children at risk that the government, must protect and must not punish. So for the Philippines, there are practical applications or practical directions on how to address these issues. So when the police comes, they don't they don't catch them. They're not detained, but they're brought to halfway houses, either managed by the government or managed by NGOs, so that they can be provided with with shelter, with food, with things that they need, and they can slowly be integrated again. If they are truly orphaned, then they will find foster homes. No, but the idea is that the street children are not offenders. They are not, no, and that they are children at risk. So everything from long-standing, for example, long-standing welfare protection for the children should be put in place to help them to address the situation. But all of these things is actually children being street children it's a product of economic inequality. So the best way to fight it is to improve the the economic situation of the people, to help for the government, the private sector, and the NGOs to slowly lift up the economic situation of the people. That would address the issue of street children.
Thank you so much. I think that that's in a lot of places in the Far East as well. We see that in a lot of places. And I think that most countries are really trying to make sure that these kids go back into the school system and try and get them back on track. I think that that's so important, and I'm glad to hear that good things are coming their way. We worry, and also in our country, it's not just in Far East; it's also here. Um,
Actually, if I may add,
yeah, please, please.
Judy, so when I go home to the Philippines, I always check the intersection. If there are children on the intersection, for me, it's a barometer that the government is failing, to provide the adequate infrastructure or resources to address their situation. So the lack of children peddling on the streets mean everything is going great. The government cash contingency cash conditional cash transfer program is working, so they're back at their home. No?
That's such a good way of measuring it. I wouldn't have thought of that, but I think that that's something we can all learn from. Thank you so much. One more question. Emily, I just asked you to be unmuted. You're sitting with your student.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, go.
We have a question about on safeguarding kids in conflict zones. Our research shows how innocent children get caught in the middle of violent local conflicts. What is the government doing to make sure military or security operations really protect children in high-risk neighborhoods?
Okay. The Philippines, our population is up almost 120 million. Okay, that's and one city is the size of Israel. We are about 90% Catholic Christian. We have about 5% Muslims, and another 5% or so of different religions, Buddhism, other forms. No? So the Philippines has had such a long-standing issue with some of our Muslim brothers that have been influenced by very radical countries or influences or non-state actors. No? And this predominantly, the conflict is in Mindanao, the biggest southern island that we have, where the earthquake actually happened. Aside from that, we have a local insurgency movement, no? A local communist insurgency movement advocating for a change of government to something that is socialist. So these are the two fronts that our military and the government are working on. In the south, in Muslim Mindanao, we have found an accommodation with some of the groups that were fighting against the government. So we were able to make peace with most of them, and we have created what we call the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region. It's several provinces that were designated as part of BARM, no, the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region, and they're allowed to govern themselves. They can elect their own parliament, but defense, foreign affairs, and the economy is driven by the national government. Having said that, before we could come up with this autonomous region, there was many decades of fighting, no, in that part of the Philippines, and children actually became actors, became soldiers. There were child soldiers, literally, no, young kids bearing arms. So for us, aside from trying to address the issue of children joining the war itself as a combatant, the government has put up a legal framework that actually declares children as, say, a zones of peace, which in principle says that military or security operations should not place children at greater risk, and that children are protected from recruitment, displacement, injury, and other grave violations. So this child protection approach is strengthened because we are part of we acceded to the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child. So in practice, this would mean for our military, our security forces must integrate child safeguarding protocols. They must coordinate with the civilian authorities and so that they avoid actions that would disrupt schools, health access, and family life. That's very important. No, so the state's duty is not only to respond when harm occurs, but to build operational rules that minimize the harm that could affect the child in the first place. So, zones of peace. No, this is our concept.
I think that's a really good way to do it because thinking about the Philippines being so wide and so far away and like there's so much they're all scattered, breaking it up and doing it in sectors and in places, I think that's really, really smart, a smart way to go about it. I wish we were looking at, I mean, this country is very small, but I still think we should look at it in parts if I had to choose. Anyway, Your Excellency, I want to thank you so much for being with us and talking with us. I hope that you stay for our debate rooms as well. Melissa, am I sharing again? You didn't answer me.
I see a lot of kids
Yeah.
raising their hands.
I know they're raising their hands, but unfortunately, we don't have that time. They'll be able to come into the room that you're in and be able to ask you the questions there. We're going to ask them to lower their hands. In any case, Melissa, am I the one who is now going back and sharing, or are you
Yes,
sharing?
please share your screen.
Yes, okay. Can you take down the hands, please, then?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. Okay. All right. Just a moment. Just a moment. I want to do it in slideshow. Okay. Let me just share my sound. I'm the one sharing the computer sound now, I understand?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So the next thing we have on the list right now is students from Kfar Nor Me'eshvea, up above Haifa. And Alex and Nomi researched the country of the UK, and they did, their issue was domestic abuse and the creation of something called Tony's Law. What we're going to do is we're going to show the video. And then I'd ask Alex and Nomi to then say a few words about it. I'll ask you to open your mic and you can say a few words about it. But let's first watch and figure out how children can actually be advocates for their own rights. Okay? Just a minute. I'm going to put it on full screen. Just a moment.
Welcome back to the Children News, where our team gives you the news to keep you informed. Hello everyone and good morning. My name is Alex Kaplan and I will be your host for today's podcast. You may know United Kingdom for its many good features, the beautiful views, famous actors, and the amazing food. But today, I would like to discuss on a more serious topic, the case of Tony Hudgel. Tony Hudgel was only 6 weeks old when the doctors reported that his birth parents were abusing him. He had suffered severe physical and emotional abuse, had multiple fractures, and eventually the doctors had to amputate both of his legs to save his life. Joining us today is Tony's adoptive mother, Paula Hudgel. Paula, can you please tell us about your experience?
Of course. When I first saw him, he was tiny, broken, and seemed all alone. He developed septicemia, toxic shock, multi-organ failure, and was on life support. What he's gone through was unbelievable. But Tony has recovered, thankfully, and has grown so much.
His birth parents, Anthony Smith and Judie Simpson, were sentenced to 10 years in jail for child cruelty and neglect.
The short sentence they received for such horrific acts made us want to fight for a change and create a new law.
As a result, a new law called Tony's Law was enacted, increasing prison sentences for those convicted of child cruelty and neglect.
After many years of struggles, Tony has achieved something that few achieve. He has a law named after him. The law defends and protects other kids like him, the way the law couldn't defend him to the full. Another great achievement of Tony's is his charity foundation.
In 2020, aged just 5, Tony Hagel decided to try and raise £509 for the Evelina Children's Hospital by walking 10 kilometers on his prosthetic leg. The Evelina Children's Hospital had managed to save Tony when he was just 6 weeks old. Tony's challenge captures hearts and minds of many people as he smashed his fundraising target by getting over £1.3 million for the hospital in the process.
Since 2020, our dear Tony has continued raising and donating substantial amounts of money to different hospitals and foundations and helped thousands of kids. The most frustrating part is that his birth parents will be released soon, as Tony's law did not exist at the time of their trial. Still, I am so proud of Tony, of his strength, courage, and everything he has achieved. The way he handled all the challenges life gave him is admirable.
Tony's story teaches us something important. No matter what challenges life throws us, we must face them and keep strong and never give up on our dreams. Lastly, I would like to thank all of the people who participated in today's news broadcast. Tony's mother and lawyer, the editing team, mechanic team, and most importantly, the research team. I would like to thank you, the viewers, for watching and listening closely. Bye everyone from the Children Broadcast.
Thank you so much. Alex, would you like to say something? Are you here? Are the two of you here? Maybe not. I know that they had something at 12 that they may have had to leave. Can you not share? Why is there someone sharing? Nachshon, Haley, can you undo that, please? Haley? Okay, thank you. Okay, I'm going to share again the PowerPoint. 1 minute. Hang on just a minute. I have to go back to the PowerPoint. Okay. Okay. In about 3 minutes, we're going to be putting you into rooms to listen to speeches by your peers, unless we have the students from Meir Shea who want to say something. Okay, so in a few minutes now, we're going to be opening breakout rooms and sending you to these breakout rooms. You're going to be hearing students present what they did, and you will have the opportunity to ask questions. Co-pilots and presenters and teachers of presenters, you are going to be the ones that we will unmute. You're co-hosts, so you'll be able to unmute yourselves. You will be with your students in the rooms, and you will be able to unmute the students to ask questions. They're not going to be able to be unmuted themselves. Okay? Melissa, is there anything that we need to do?
Okay, so the co-hosts and the presenters,
Oh, wait,
I've
wait,
done,
wait, 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 wait. Alex is there. Isn't that Alex and Naomi from the movie? Wait, just give me 1 second. I want to hear from them. They finally made it here. Hang on. I asked you to unmute. Hi,
Hello.
girls. Would you like to say anything
Hello.
about your movie?
Yes, so first of all, we are very thankful to present it before you, our project. We put a lot of effort in it.
Yeah, and thank you for the opportunity.
You're very
And-
welcome. I think it's
Yeah.
lovely that you showed us that children can make a difference and
Yes.
that you can take a bad situation and make it better.
Yes.
Yes.
When we read and researched for the information, we fell in love with Tony's story. So we did a lot of research and checked different news broadcasts and different websites and his own website to see about more of the story, to learn about him more because we found it fascinating.
I think that's amazing, ladies, and I really applaud you. Kol hakavod, kudos. I think that you did an amazing job, and thank you for letting me share it with everyone today. It was my honor and my pleasure. So thank you so much, ladies. Well done. Thank you all for watching that. Melissa, do you want to explain how we're going to be moving out?
okay. If I did this right, everybody who is a co-pilot or a presenter will stay in the main room for a few minutes while everybody else is sent automatically to breakout rooms. I will then tell each of the co-pilots and presenters which room to go to. Lucy will stay and her people will stay in the main room, and you will be doing a breakout room for the people who are joining us from the live stream on YouTube. Okay, so right now, Paul, is there anything else I need to add to that?
Keep going.
Okay, so I'm going to open all of the rooms. If by chance anybody who is supposed to be a presenter or a co-pilot is sent to a room, then please return to the main room and I'll tell you where to go. Okay, so right now you just need to accept your invitation on the screen to join a breakout room. And I will start assigning rooms, okay? Paula sent me a list here. Now that she's here, she could do this. Okay. Room 1 will be Zoe and Noga together with Daniela from Hofa Sharon. Please go to breakout room 1. Okay, if you click on breakout rooms at the bottom of your screen, you'll be able to choose the room that you want to go to. Room 1. Nofego Lan with Lucy and Shira stay in the main room. Okay. Room 2 will be Eitan Branco Weiss with Limor and Harel. That's room 2. Room 3 will be United with Ria, Rona, Leila, and Talia. That's room 3. Room 4 will be Chavat HaNoar with Amal, Vadim, Yael, Noam, and Hadar. That's room 4. Okay. And then Lucy and Shira you will be room 5, which is the main room. Okay. And once again, click on the breakout rooms at the bottom of your screen and you'll be able to choose the room that you're going to.
There are still many people here, more than presenters, who haven't gone into their breakout rooms. So everyone go down to the bottom. There's 3 dots where it says more. Go into breakout rooms, scoot all the way down, and there's a place to say accept or yes or something like that, where it's going to take you to the breakout room you're supposed to go to. Okay? Okay. So I see Lucy and Martine are here. Emily, where are you supposed to be, sweetie? You can go anywhere, so just choose a room. If don't have a presenter, then choose a room. Okay, some of the co-pilots who are co-pilots, Melissa, don't have presenters for this round, and so they can choose any room to go to. They can
Okay.
also stay here. Lucy's students are presenting here. Lucy and Martine's students are presenting here. So they can stay here or they can go to other rooms. Is there anyone here who is not supposed to be presenting now with Nofé Golan? Are there students here who need to know where to go? Yeah, you were asked, Emily, but it's not in this round. It's in the next round. I don't know where Emily is. Where is she?
Excuse us? We
Yes.
aren't able to join a break room. We're presenters.
Who is
And
this?
this is
Noga
Noga
and
and Zoe. They're supposed to stay here.
Noga
Oh,
and
we're supposed to stay here.
Zoe
Lucy, aren't
are
those
supposed
yours?
to be in room 1. I'm sending you to room 1.
Oh, okay.
Right.
There's a
Thank you
thing
very
that
much.
says presenter Elon, Eitan, and Sean. Is that for the next one? No, that isn't the next one. That should be this one. The
Their
presenter
their
Elon.
name is not on this list.
Okay.
Lucy, you're staying here. Lucy, can you call Shira and ask her to come back to the main room, please?
I think she's already in the main room.
I don't see her. Unless she's with somebody else.
1 second.
Hey,
I'll see if I
I'm
can-
here.
Oh,
great.
okay.
Okay.
Excellent.
So Judy, start them off, please.
Okay. So welcome. This is the main room. For those of you who are also in the live stream, this is the live stream of one of our presentations. We've kept one of our presentations from Nofé Golan here. Lucy, I'd like you to present exactly who is presenting, what it is, what is about. And Melissa, if you could spotlight, that would be excellent.
I will try to do that. Sorry, you caught me off guard.
Okay, should I start?
Yes.
Okay, so I'd like to present to you Shira Hagar. She has been an exceptional student throughout this program and was really inspired to learn about the girls of Afghanistan and their plight, their situation, not being able to receive an education. It was something that spoke to her, and she spent a lot of time researching and preparing her speech and poster. She has found out so many interesting facts and information about their situation, and she will be able to explain it much better than I can. She's an inspiration, certainly to me, and to our students here at Nofé Golan. She's just been incredible. So I would like for her to give her speech. We were all absolutely blown away by it, and she was sure a choice for us. And I think the other young ambassador team members felt that she did a great job as well. So I'd like to pass over to Shira, and she will talk to us a little bit more about the girls of Afghanistan.
165 years ago, the father of the modern evolution, Charles Darwin, claimed that women intellectually were inferior to men, suggesting that they should be less evolved. Today we know he was wrong, for in fact brilliance have no gender, but yet 165 years ago, the basic right for education has been snatched away from millions of girls, leaving them with no voice and no way to fight back. I'm here to speak for the girls of Afghanistan. Since the Taliban returned to power in 2021, Afghanistan has become the only country in the world where girls and women are banned from secondary school and attending university. Today, over 1.1 million girls sitting at home, watching their dream turn into dust. And it's not just about missing school, it's a systematic eraser of entire generation from public life. Imagine a girl, named Maria. Maria is 15 years old, just like me. A few years ago, she dreamed to be a software engineer or a doctor. She loved the smell of a new notebook and solving difficult math equations. But one morning, the gates to her school were locked. Now Maria spent her day behind a window, watching her brother walk to school. Meanwhile, she told her only future is within the four wall of her home. For Maria, a pen has become a forbidden weapon, and a book is a piece of history she can no longer touch. For some, it might not sound like a big tragedy. So what if a few girls does not get educated? But pending education, it's like cutting a bird's wings. Without those girls are trapped. They cannot work, they cannot lead, and they cannot escape poverty and forced marriage. It's a life sentence to reality they did not choose. So what can be done? We cannot stay silent. We can use school platform and social media to keep the eyes world on Afghanistan, ensuring the Taliban will feel the pressure. Second, we must support undergraduate education. There are brave organizations providing secret online-based learning for Afghanistan girls. Supporting those is a direct way to help those girls get educated. And finally, we must demand public change from our leaders to, to provide women rights in any diplomatic talk. Education, it's not a privilege, it's a human right. We must ensure that Maria and millions like her can finally put down the housework and pick up the pen once again. Because when you educate girls, you don't just change her life, you change the world. Thank you.
Wow, that was amazing, Shira.
Thank you so much.
Would you like to say anything about the process, about how you're feeling, about the program? Anything you'd like to share with us about girls in Israel, girls around the world, anything?
Um, First of all, it's amazed me because it's like so absurd that just because my gender or any girls in the world, like we are not human. We don't have hopes, we don't have dreams just because we're another gender. It was like I couldn't like think about girls with such a big dreams that cannot do that and cannot get proper education just because their gender. It was like I was in shock and it's really get into my heart and break it, but inspired me so much.
That's amazing. Is there anything you'd like to think of that we could do in Israel to raise awareness for these girls and what's going on with them?
First of all, we need to talk about that because Israel is a very modern country, and it's like hard to think that there's entire countries and millions of girls that are not get educated because it's like so normal to us that we can work and we can like go outside without being scared, and there are so many people that do not have this luxury. So we need to talk about this so much more and bring awareness to this
I think that's so
subject.
right. How do you think we can do that?
I think, first of all, we need to show girls that they can't. And this is important. We need to show them, like, we need to talk about this. We need to get groups of girls, like, talking and bringing ideas because we need to bring this subject to the front of the table and talk about this in school, in like to in a lot of ways. Just talking about it, it's important.
I agree with you. Would you like to say anything else for
That
now?
it was very enjoyable, and I'm so happy that I was a part of this.
We're so happy that you were a part of it as well. Thank you for sharing with us. We appreciate you a lot. What I'd like to do, Maya, you had a question. Let me help you. Let me just unmute you. Go ahead, Maya, unmute yourself. Say your name and what school you're from. Maya, can you speak?
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Do you want to ask your question?
Yes. Okay. I do have a question. I wanted to ask. It's more of a following up question to uh, uh, everything you said. I personally, I just wanted to ask, during the process of researching about it, is there anything else, like any opinions you think that could help instead of talking about it? Like, because there's actually things we can do. Because a lot of people did talk about it. There's a lot of people who do talk about it. And I think this is a time that we should step up and do something more than just talking about it. We do really see in some certain countries just talking about it. We're to a point that it does not help, and we need to start really doing some things. So I wanted to ask if you have any solutions or suggestions.
I'm agreeing you 100%. And I think because they're the Taliban, they're a terror, like uh, every terror organization. Um, it's very hard, and it's very very hard. I think we need first of all we need to help those girls get educated, and their organization that they're educate those girls secret like online. I think we need to get more and provide more sources they can learn, like courses and like um, in the internet. We need to give them and show them like that there are another way they can learn, because today we have so many amazing sources to help those, like online. We can do courses and we can do videos and Zoom meeting videos. We need to like we have so much tool to help them, really. Today, like,
A lovely thought.
yes, we can do courses and show them that they're another girl, because they don't even know that there's another way. For them, it's like, okay, we are girls. We cannot dream. We need to be a mother. This is why God birthed us. So we need to show them that this is not the reality that they need to live. There is another way. So
I
first
think
of
that's lovely. I think that's lovely, Shira. Thank you so much, honey. I'm sorry to cut you off, but we're going to stop now. Melissa, I'd like to bring everyone back in 1 minute. Give them that 1 minute thing. Melissa, you with me? Closing rooms.
Yeah.
Because we're going to have to get ready to go to our debate rooms, and I want to have enough time for that as well. So we're going to go into the debate rooms in just a minute. Let me just, for a moment, change the view, the gallery view. Okay. All right. Okay. So breakout rooms. I'm closing or you're closing?
I just
Oh,
closed
you're
them.
closing. Okay, good. Okay.
Lucy, you're going to stay in the main room again? You're
Yes.
muted.
Yes, Lucy, you're going to stay in the main room again. You're going to be live streamed again as well. Lucy's debating room 1. That's why it made her very easily. So Lucy, get your slide ready for now. Everyone get your slides ready if you're co-piloting. And the second we close the rooms, I'm assuming that Melissa is going to do the same thing. I want to remind you, co-pilots, if you're here, that I want to remind you that you're going to, if you have a delegate in your room, we will be letting them introduce themselves for 5 minutes. No, wait a minute. Don't share
Not
yet.
everybody's back yet.
Don't share yet. Don't share yet, Lucy. Whoever's sharing, don't share. Lucy, right? Hang on a second, honey. Don't share yet. Okay. Okay, we're going to bring everybody back, and then we're going to explain how it's going to work. I'm going to share my slide that says where we're going to, what we're going to be choosing now. Okay.
Jesus
Why
Christ.
isn't it
I
letting
have
me?
the breakout room set.
Okay.
If you can add to the slide, it actually changed room.
What? Quick.
Shoot. I did it so because Lucy is education and she's staying in the main room, and then all of the other numbers have to change by one.
So it's 1,
Yes,
2,
exactly.
okay,
Exactly.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, that's what. Okay,
I'm just looking to see if that works.
that's all right. Just tell me when people are back in because I'm sharing,
Health is
so I can't really see.
Hey, Judy, I think everybody is in. We have over 230 people.
Okay, okay, that's great. Are the rooms totally closed? No, whoever just, did I do that? I did that? I shouldn't have done that. Okay, I'm sorry, that was me. All right, so welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the student speeches. We had a lovely one about female girl education in Afghanistan, or lack of, by Shira. It was lovely. Now, I want to tell you what we're going to be doing now. All of you, I took all of the issues and countries that you all did. Okay, there are 243 sets of research that was done this year, and I put it all into the chat, and I asked it to create topics and groups of things that were researched with different countries. So this isn't by country, but what we are going to do is we're going to break you up now into 8 rooms based on the research that you did on the issue that you studied, not the country, based on the issue. Okay, so if you did something about education and child labor, or lack of education, or education for girls, or education for things, you can stay in the main room. If you've done something about basic survival and the child's best interests, you're going into room 1.
1 second. I'm sorry. The rooms, don't pay attention to the room numbers, but all of the rooms are named. Okay, so when you open up the breakout rooms, you're going to see the titles of all of the rooms. The only one that's not in the list is the education. Education, digital life, and child labor is the main room. Okay, and then you can choose according to what you've researched about and where your interests lie.
Okay. So there's a room about survival and the child's best interest. There's a room about equality, violence, and refugees. There were a lot of you who did things on ICE in America and other refugee rights, poverty and basic rights, conflict, war, and finding safety, free speech, beliefs, and school rules, health, clean water, and trafficking, and youth justice work and the right to play. Okay, these were all of the issues that the students here did. In some of the rooms will be delegates from the countries that I said in the beginning. I'll go back and I'll remind you who they are. We have Her Excellency, who you heard, and she's also going to be in one of the rooms. We have the First Secretary of the Czech Republic, the First Secretary of Uzbekistan, and the Cultural Attaché of Finland. Tova will be around, and we have other adult guests. I'm reminding you, some of you haven't really played by the rules, and it's not that we haven't noticed, okay? And it's not cool, so stop. Okay, right now we're going in to be talking about the things that we learned, and that's very important. And we want you to be heard. We want you to be heard by the adults in the room. So be respectful, listen. The delegates and Her Excellency and the very important people who are here are going to introduce themselves and speak a little bit about their countries, and then you're going to start the debate. There's a mediator in the room who is a teacher, and they will be making order and keeping order. Okay? I've removed a couple of people a few times. Please, I really don't want to do that. Okay? So right now, you're going to get on your screen the opportunity to choose a room. Everybody chooses a room based on these names. Okay, so you're either staying in the main room for education, or you're going to whatever room has the name on it. Okay, please go now. Co-hosts, please go to the rooms that you're supposed to be going to based on your topic, and don't forget to record.
Okay, Maya, you're going to survival, Brandon to equality, Yossi and Tova to poverty and basic rights, Emily to
Tova,
conflict.
stay with me. Tova, stay with me if you can.
Okay, so Yossi will go to poverty. Vadim and Amal, you're going to free speech. Limor to health and clean water. And Ofri going to youth, justice, work, and the right to play.
We're having a bit of a hard time actually. It's not really letting us join the actual room.
Okay, I'll send you there. Where do you need to be? You need to be in the room with Chavata Noah, right?
Equality, violence, and refugee rights.
Yeah, refugee rights.
Refugee rights. Okay, let me just see where it says where you are.
They're not Chavata Noah. They are they're Chofesh Haron. Zoe and Nova Chofesh Haron with yellow.
Where do they have to go? Which room? Refugee?
Oh no, they finished now. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter.
We didn't understand the assignment of rooms.
Okay.
Where we meant to be
Layla?
going.
Okay, Paula, where does Layla have to go from United?
My name is Lila.
Lila, I'm sorry.
Paula,
just a minute. Let me open it up.
Layla?
Lila.
Layla, what school are you? Lila, I'm sorry.
From
what school are you?
United, Paula, United.
United, so they have to go with. You've already given your speech now. You finished your
It was
speech,
room
right?
number. They
So
gave
now
their.
it doesn't matter.
Oh, so now
If
you
they've
go
given
wherever
their
you
speech,
want.
it doesn't matter.
We choose? All right.
Yeah, you choose. You go wherever you want. Shara, you
Once
can
they've
also
done
go
their
wherever
speech,
you want. Okay, so the people who are in this main room right now are the people who stayed for education, right? You're all here for the education part.
No, we're not.
Then you need to go wherever you need to go.
We're trying.
We can't join the rooms.
It
They're
wouldn't
not.
really
What
help.
room do you want to go to, Noga? And
Equality,
Zoe?
violence, and refugee rights.
Okay, I tried to send you before, but then they
you have
told
to
me no.
accept it on your screen.
You have to accept on the
You didn't
screen.
send us-
Yes, but it didn't show up on
You
the
didn't
screen.
send us an invite.
I
What
didn't.
is your name?
I sent you again now.
Are you sure you're sending it to the right person? We are
Yes.
presenting to Nova
Yes.
Mo.
Yes. And I know that you're not accepting because this is the second time that I sent you.
Is it
So
showing
go
up on the
out and
screen?
come back in again. Go out and come back in again.
All
right? Okay. Excellent. All right. Lucy, take it away.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen and I'll record as well. Just bear with me.
I'm recording, so you don't need to.
Oh, I don't need to record. Okay, great. Let me just. Okay, so does everyone see the slide for room 1? I don't see it yet. So, here it is. Okay, so we have 3 areas.
One second. Room 8 doesn't have a presenter. Doesn't have a facilitator, room 8.
All right, so if you're in room 1 with me, we're going to be discussing 3 different areas. First of all, education, which I know many people researched and found out lots of issues around the world of children not receiving a proper full education. Also, we're going to be discussing digital access, whether or not children should have full digital access, what that means, what issues there are in connection with that, and also child labour, whether children and at what age children should be working, or how that plays out with children not accessing education. So those ones are actually quite strongly linked. So I'm sure many of you have covered within your research. Article 28, which talks about education and children's right to an access to a full education. Article 32, protection from child labour and exploitation. And Article 17, which is about access to digital information and media. So we have some questions which we can pose, and we're going to open the floor to people's discussion around these questions. And if you have another question that isn't here on the board, you can all see there are 5 questions. If you have another question that you would like to raise in relation to any of these 3 areas, you can also do so. Okay, so I'm going to open it up with just the first question that's on the board, which is, it's in relation to digital access and media. Should children have unlimited access to information online? Let's get the discussion going on that. It's something which is very controversial, something that people feel quite strongly about. So would anyone like to offer any comment? Okay, so I've got Harel. Harel, would you like to start us off with a comment?
I think that children should not have unlimited access to the internet because there are a lot of stuff on it that are not fit for their age. They should have limited access, but they should have the access to all the information that they should need.
Okay, thanks, Harel. That's a really good point that you've made. So you don't think that overall children should have unlimited access. Itamar, would you like to come in with a comment? Itamar Kremer from Hof Hasharon. You have your hand raised. Would you like to offer a comment about that? Okay. Yes, Itamar, you're on mute. I'm going to unmute you, but you can unmute yourself. You're going to have to unmute yourself, Itamar.
There, now I managed to unmute.
Okay.
Personally, I think children should have unlimited access to the internet. I think with the world being as bad as it is, children getting a little taste of that isn't that bad, and you could just only prepare them for what's to come. It's my personal opinion.
Okay, thanks, Itamar. So you've got a different opinion from Harel. Itamar, I'm just going to ask you, do you think that at what age do you think children should have unlimited access? Do you think it should be from very small kids, or do you think at a certain age children should have unlimited access? Okay, maybe we'll bring someone else in. Sophia, you've got your hand raised. Do you want to offer a comment on that, either the question that I asked or something else? Sophia? Or Yanai, otherwise?
Yeah, I want to speak.
Okay,
Okay, my
go
name
on.
is Eli, and I want to debate about is missing school work accepted? Is missing school to work is accepted? I don't think it's accepted, but it depends on how your parents raise you, and if you're working to help your home and provide. But I think skipping school to work is not acceptable.
Okay, Yanai, thank you. So we've moved on to education. Does anyone else like to mention anything about education, either if children are missing school because they're having to work, or that they are being maybe exploited, which means that people are using them in ways which are not acceptable? Would anyone else like to offer any comment about that? I'm sure many of you researched about child labour. Aviv, would you like to say something? Aviv Spillman. Aviv, you're unmuted, but I can't see you. Do you not have a camera? Okay, otherwise Ram or Ram, you're welcome to speak. Or Aviv. Otherwise, Haral, you've got something else you'd like to say? I know we spoke to you before.
I think that missing school to work should never be accepted because the right to education is more important in my eyes than the children needing to work for their families. It violates Article 32. The children shouldn't work to supply the family. The family should work to supply the children with their needs, and and one of those needs is education.
Wow, Haral, you spoke so well. Which country did you research, Haral? I can't hear you. Just unmute
I
again.
researched Egypt, and I did it on Article 32.
Right. So you found out some information about child labor.
Yes.
Wow. And what's the situation like in Egypt, Haral? Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
In Egypt, there are a lot of kids that instead of going to school like we do every day, they need to carry heavy bags of sand, and some of them are really small. It's like they're 6-year-olds and maybe even smaller kids that still need to carry heavy sandbags in the heat just to supply their family with a little bit of money, which is only enough to feed them for a little bit and their families. For barely enough.
Wow, Haral. Yeah, that's sounds like you found out a lot of information. Okay, so let's move on to another question. Does anyone have a question that they would like to ask about child labor or Article 32 or about Article 28 education? Girls, shh. Sorry, I'm in a room with other students that are making a bit of noise. Otherwise, we'll open it up to another question. Okay, so let's ask this question. Should schools teach students how to recognize, right, we're going back to about digital safety, okay, which is an important topic. So should schools teach about digital, girls, shakat. Sorry. Should schools teach children to stay safe online? Is it a responsibility of schools or is it a responsibility of parents? Let's ask that question. Would anyone like to open up a comment? All right, Yanai and then Ezra and then Yoel. Yanai?
Yeah, just a second. Segal translated. Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
Okay, I think first of all, it's the parents. The parents need to teach the child how to protect themselves in the internet, and after that, it's the school responsibility. Because it's the parent's job is to keep the child safe from seeing things on the internet, and then after all, the schools needs to teach them how to avoid it.
Hey, thanks, Yanai. What about you, Ezra? Would you like to come in with a comment? Take yourself off mute. Ezra, you're on mute, my dear.
Okay, there we go. So I think it should be responsibility of both, like equally. Like the school should have a class maybe at least once a month, and the parents should talk about it to like their kids like a lot of times. Like maybe not too much, but like, still a good amount. I think it should be both, and they should have equal responsibility.
Okay, thank you, Ezra. Right. What about, let's open this up to the question of social media companies. There's been a lot in the news quite recently about the responsibility of some of the social media platforms like TikTok and Instagram. Should they be responsible for protecting children? And if so, how do they do that? So let's see if anyone has an answer or has a comment that they would like to make about social media companies and their responsibility. They make a lot of money, and probably many of you have, even if you're many children, unfortunately, even if they're not meant to, have social media accounts, even from quite young ages. In some countries, they've banned children from accessing online platforms. I think Australia has, and many others are thinking about it. Itai, would you like to offer a comment about social media companies and their responsibility? Itai Cohen, you have your hands up. And we'll have Itai and then we'll have Adar. Itai, take yourself off mute and you can comment. Okay, Itai, if you're not on mute, I'm going to move on to Adar and then Eitan. Adar from Draw, do you want to take yourself off mute?
I think that we need to tell them that we need to, one second, Adar, here. Once I ask them to unmute, then they can unmute. So we need to actually go into participants and say it, which I'm doing as you're speaking.
Okay, thanks.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can, Adar.
So I think that social media, those are like huge platforms, and you cannot really control what is on there. So I think that like little kids shouldn't be on TikTok or Instagram. Like I want to allow my little brother to be on TikTok because he's 9 years old, and I don't think that all the content there is important for him to absorb, and it's not good for a little kid. Yeah.
Thanks, Adar. We've got many other people wanting to comment. Eitan Levy, would you like to say something? I'm going to ask you to unmute, and then we'll go to Eden and Neva. Okay, Eitan, go ahead.
I think that the countries need to make sure that how do you say that, people in the social media are bring a good token, content that they and to block people on social media that what they it's good and
Okay.
they check.
So that it's the responsibility of the social media companies to check all of the content, and anything that isn't suitable for children, they should block it. It's a good comment. Eden, Hodaya, and Nave, I'm going to ask you to speak. Okay, girls, I can't hear you. Do you want to just turn up your volume? I still can't hear you. If anyone has a question and they're not with
Okay, so yeah, so I'm getting feedback that some people who have been asked to present haven't been called on. So we'll slow it down, and if you want to make a comment, please raise your hand again, and we will one by one unmute you so that you can speak, or invite you to unmute. Okay, so right now I see Harel. Is there anybody else who wants to speak now? And I will give you the chance. Okay, Harel, go ahead.
I think that social medias should do it, but it depends. If the children have unlimited access, then no, it's the children's fault if they search up something online that isn't fit for their age. But if the children have limited access to the internet and information, then that means if there is a content in their internet that isn't for children, it's an error in their system, not the fault of the kid. They should be responsible for it.
Okay, thanks, Haral. Would anyone like?
Itai, would you like to unmute?
Yes. So, I think that companies should not parent people's children. Parents should decide what they think is the best way for their children to enjoy social media. That's it.
You've finished? That's it. Okay. Thanks, Itai. Eli? Go ahead, Eli.
I have a question for you. I want to know from what age do you think kids should have a unlimited access to the internet?
Is that a question for me?
Yeah.
Well, I think that it has to be when I'd like to open that up to other people. Let's see what people think. Would anyone else like to answer that question, and then you can come back to me? Let's see what the other people in the room think. Does anyone think that they okay, we've got quite a few people now with their hands raised. Okay, Haral, you obviously feel strongly about this topic. What do you think?
I think that unlimited access, that the access should slowly go up. You see, I don't think that a 9-year-old should have the same access as an 18-year-old to the internet. I think that, but the moment you get unlimited is about unlimited access is 16 or 15 or something like that. When the children can have responsibilities of their own and understand their own actions.
Okay, that's well said. Well done, Haral. What about you, Itamar? You got your hand raised, and then we'll go back to Itai.
I think that you definitely wouldn't want a kid to be like the kid's personality to be shaped by social media and by the internet. And I think that around 13, 14 is a really good age to start getting a feel for that for the real world, but you don't get shaped by social media.
Okay, right, great. And lastly, Itai, and then we'll move on to the next question. Itai, you're on mute still.
Actually, I don't really have anything to add. Itai, or say against.
Okay, I can't really hear Itai. Itai, would you try one more time? Okay. All right, so we're going to have one more question about online safety, and then we'll move on to finish off talking about more about education. So which is more important in your view? Freedom of information or child safety? So who thinks very strongly that child safety is more important and wants to say something about why? Okay. Or if you feel strongly the other way. Okay, Itamar, you put your hand up again. Itamar, do you want to say something about freedom of information versus child safety? Itamar, I'm going to ask you to unmute.
There. Well, I think freedom of information is a lot more important because if you're putting someone in a cage, they're not really safe. They're just blocked, right? It doesn't help that it's not really protecting, you're just stopping them from getting to there.
Right. Okay. That's a good point. Ezra, do you have something you'd like to say about it? Yeah, I'm going to ask you to unmute. Okay, go ahead, Ezra.
So I think that part of it, like it should like a bit more. You should be a bit more focused on the child safety, like at least a bit more. Like it should be more, like at least do the bare minimum of at least a tiny bit more. So yeah, I think child safety is a bit more important than freedom of information.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Yoel and Itai, from Kfar Galim. You've got your hands up. What would you like to say?
Yes, we think that child safety is a bit more important than freedom of information because we have examples from the war and people are getting videos of people getting killed and children see that. It's not for the age, it's not well as good for them to see stuff that they shouldn't see. So I think that children, children's safety is more important than learning stuff.
Okay, thank you very
Okay,
much.
we have 1 minute left, so who would like to finish us off?
On any of the topics, any of those 3 topics, if anyone has a final comment to
Lucy, we
make,
don't hear
something
you.
that they have researched. You don't hear me?
It's like, Lucy, it's like you just lost sound.
Ah,
Or maybe it's me.
okay.
No, I can hear
anyone
her.
else hear me?
I can hear you,
It's
Lucy.
me. It was,
Okay.
go ahead, Lucy.
All right, so does anyone have something that they'd like to say as a final thought on any of those 3 topics: education, protection from exploitation and child labour, or access to media and freedom of information, before we wrap up? Okay, well, I would say that your comments have been exceptional. You've obviously thought long and hard about all of those areas, and you've got something very interesting to say. Some of you have really thought long and hard and have obviously found out information in relation to the countries that you researched. Really impressed, and looking forward to looking at your posters in a little bit more detail, because I can see that some of you have really looked at these particular violations very thoroughly. So thank you. That was really thoroughly enjoyable, and well done to all of you, and congratulations. You've done a great job.
And thank you, Lucy. You've done a great job as well.
Thank you, Lucy. Excellent. Amazing.
Pleasure.
If you can unshare, please, just so that I can share, Lucy. Thank you. Okay.
Okay, breakout rooms are closing in 3 seconds.
Okay, we're going to get ready for Tova. Melissa, tell me when Tova is back in, if you can find her. Oh, Tova's here. Okay. We need to, oh, Tova is pinned already. Excellent. Okay. Are we spotlighting her? No, she's already spotlighted. Okay. Excellent. I'm just going to wait for everyone to come back. Is everyone back, Melissa? Yes? Okay. So welcome back, everyone, from your debate rooms. Last but definitely not least in our program today, and very incredibly important and smart, is Dr. Tova Ben-Ari, who used to be, up until the 1st of September last year, was in charge and created the whole idea of student rights in Israel. And the convention was created by her. And she is the reason why in Israel, as the only country in the world to have a convention of student rights. And she's going to talk to you today about your rights as students. I bet there are things there that you didn't know. And she's going to talk to you about that. And if there are any questions at the end, raise your hands and we will be able to have you ask her questions. Okay, so with no further ado, I'm going to share her PowerPoint. Just a moment. I'm doing that. Tova, would you like to say hi meanwhile?
Tova, unmute yourself, please.
Yes, unmute yourself, Tova. Hang on a minute. Wait, Tova, you have to unmute yourself. You haven't done that yet.
Tova,
Did you ask her to unmute herself?
I did, yes.
Okay, so she has to do that.
Hi, Judy. Hi, everybody.
Oh, there you go.
תודה על התואר דוקטור, עוד אין לי, אבל יהיה לי בעוד שנה, אבל זה בסדר.
Okay,
never mind.
never mind. Doctor is good.
טוב.
Okay.
בוקר טוב, צהריים טובים לכולם. אני הכי מתרגשת לשמוע את הילדים. הכי בעולם. וכמו שקבעתי איתך, בשנה הבאה אנחנו נעשה פולו-אפ לתוך בתי הספר, מי ירצה השם. עכשיו אנחנו מדברים על זכויות ילדים. מה זה זכויות ילדים? מה זה זכויות תלמידים? אתם בוודאי למדתם היטב, כמו שאני הבנתי מתוך השיח פה, מה זה זכויות ילדים. נגזרת של זה, כמו שדיברו על זכויות ילדים, כאילו עבדות ועבודה, נגזרת של אמנת זכויות הילד זה חוק זכויות התלמיד. חוק זכויות התלמיד זה החוק היחיד בעולם, אין דומה לו. בכל 192 מדינות שחתמו על אמנת זכויות הילד. אז מה, תעבירי לנו. ג'ודי, בבקשה. הופה. תודה. אז כשהתחלתי עם זה לפני 20 שנה, המורים מאוד פחדו מפנקס זכויות הילד. ובדיון שהיה לנו בלונדון, על הנושא הזה, הם צריכים להפריד את זכויות תלמידים מזכויות ילדים, נולדה הקריקטורה הזאת שאתם רואים. אבל מה זה למעשה הזכויות של התלמידים? זה בערך 400 זכויות, שמתחילות בזכות לכבוד, לכל ילדה וכל ילד בכל גיל, בין 4 ובין 14. לכולם מגיע כבוד, לכל אדם, למורות מגיע כבוד, לכל עובדי המערכת מגיע כבוד ותודה. אבל תלמידים, כילדים, כאזרחים צעירים, מגיע כבוד. וגם חינוך, חינוך מותאם, חינוך לילדים, לקויי למידה, חינוך לילדים עם מוגבלויות, כמו למשל, אי אפשר שילד עם מוגבלות בהליכה יעלה לקומה שלישית לחדר מדעים, אלא חדר מדעים צריך לרדת למטה. הנושא של הזכות לשוויון, שוויון בין עדות ובין לאומים ובין דתות, לא חשוב אם ילד הוא יהודי או נוצרי או מוסלמי, לכולם מגיע הזכות לחינוך במדינת ישראל. גם לילדי מהגרים אגב, 3 חודשים אחרי שהם בארץ. חובה על בית הספר לידע אתכם, הזכות למידע, חובה על בית הספר לידע אתכם מהם הזכויות שלכם. על זה שמורה אסור לה לצעוק, אסור להוציא אתכם למסדרון, חייבים לתת לכם לצאת לשירותים, אסור למסור מבחנים כשהציון גלוי, אסור לשים אתכם בפינה, זה עונש פיזי, עוד מעט אני אראה לכם את זה בחוק. צריך לכבד את הילדים, כאילו כל ילד הוא ילד של אותה מורה, או כל ילדה היא ילדה של אותה מורה. יש חובה על בית הספר לתת לכם את הזכות להישמע, להקשיב לכם, למה שאתם רוצים. זה לא אומר שצריכים לעשות מה שאתם מבקשים, אבל חייבים להקשיב לכם, וזה מה שחשוב. אתם חייבים להיות שותפים לקבלת החלטות, בכל נושא שקשור אליכם. והחידוש נולד בשנת 2000 בחוק זכויות התלמיד, שעוד מעט אני אלמד אתכם. הגנה. אסור ענישה גופנית, אסור לעמוד בפינה, אסור לשלוח ילדים לנקות את חצר בית ספר בגלל שהם הפריעו בשיעור היסטוריה, אבל מותר לעשות תורנות בבית ספר כדי שכולם ינקו בתורנות שלהם. אסור על ענישה משפילה, אסור להעליב ילדים, אמירות ציניות של מורות, צעקות של מורות, זה דבר שאסור, לא רק לפי אמנה, גם לפי החוק. אתם תראו שבסעיף 10 בחוק זכויות התלמיד כתוב אותו דבר. יש לנו חובת דיווח על אלימות, אם מרביצים לילדים, בדרך כלשהי, אתם יכולים לדווח גם בעילום שם, גם למשרד הרווחה וגם למשטרה, שכן, חבר, ברחוב נתקלתם, שאבא או אמא מרביצים לילד שלהם, חובת דיווח, של כולנו, של כל האזרחים, שמירת סודיות של כל המורים, על כל הדברים הפרטיים שלכם, אסור לגלות. סיפר לי איזה ילד שהוא בא למחנכת וסיפר למורה שהוא חד מיני, אז היא קרא לו בילבי בכיתה. לא, זה אסור. אסור כינויים, אסור אפליה על רקע מין, דת, זהות מינית, אסור, זה נמצא גם בחוק זכויות התלמיד. בשנת 2014 הכנסנו את האיסור אפליה על רקע של זהות מינית. אז הסודיות היא חובה של המורים כלפיכם, של ההורים כלפיכם. זאת חובת המבוגרים. כי בצד כל הזכויות, אתם זוכרים, תמיד אומרים לנו, יש חובות, כן, זה החובות של המבוגרים. אבל לכם יש אחריות כלפי עצמכם וכלפי החברה מסביבכם. ג'ודי, תגידי לי שאני צריכה להפסיק. הזכות לפרטיות, אתם דנתם קודם על הנושא, אני הייתי בקבוצה שדנו מי אחראי על ההגנות ברשת על תלמידים, האם זה בית ספר, האם זה המורה, האם זה אנחנו, אז קודם כל היא האחריות שלנו, כן, על הבית ספר, אני תולה הכל בחינוך, אני מאמינה שחינוך טוב יביא לאזרחות לתלמידים, סליחה, ולאזרחים איכותיים ששומרים על עצמם, ועל החברים, ועל החברה המבוגרת יותר, כמוני למשל, ועל הצעירים יותר בחברה. הנושא הגנה על שם טוב, אי אפשר, מה שנקרא בלשון החבר'ה, ללכלך עליכם. אף אחד אסור לו, גם לא למורים. הליך הוגן. הליך הוגן זה כל דבר שמתנהל איתכם, הוא הליך הוגן, כשמתנהל נגדכם ואתם לא שותפים, זה הליך לא הוגן. אם החליטו בוועדה בית ספרית, להוציא אתכם לבית ספר אחר, או להעביר אתכם, או להמליץ בפניכם, לא, אל תסכימו. ראשית כל תבקשו על פי חוק, ועל פי הנהלים במשרד החינוך, לדבר עם המורים, לדבר עם המנהל, להזמין את ההורים. יש תהליך מאוד ארוך, שקוראים לו הליך הוגן. תשמרו על ההליך הזה. אגב, יש פה בקצה QR, כזה ריבוע, תעשו עם הטלפונים שלכם, תראו שיש קבוצה שאני פתחתי במיוחד להורים ולילדים, ואני מספרת שם את כל הזכויות שלכם, אז אתם יכולים גם לשאול שאלות שם. הנושא של חופש ביטוי, גם מותר לכם לומר מה שאתם חושבים, בתנאי אחד, שאתם לא פוגעים, לא בביטחון המדינה, לא באנשים אחרים ולא בחברים לידכם. כל זמן שאתם עומדים בסך הזה, אתם יכולים להגיד מה שאתם חושבים. אף אחד לא חייב לקבל את מה שאתם אומרים. כמו שוולטר אמר, אני לא חייב לקבל את דעתך, ואתה יכול להגיד מה שאתה רוצה, בתנאי שאתה לא פוגע באחרים. כמובן שאנחנו מדברים גם על תרבות הפנאי, על הזכות להפגנה, בואי, כן לנו הרבה זמן, ג'ודי, תעברי, והנה הגענו לחוק זכויות התלמיד, החוק שאמרתי קודם, שהוא החדשני ביותר בין מדינות העולם. אין דומה לו. בשנת 2000 חוקק החוק הזה, לא, קודם. תודה. בשנת 2000 חוקק החוק הזה, עליו יש כל מיני שינויים, כל הזמן. הזכרתי לכם את הנושא של סעיף 14 על איסור אפליה של תלמידים על רקע של מגדר או זהות מינית, זו הייתה התוספת. יש פה תוספת נוספת שנוספה עם השנים על הרחקה לצמיתות, מעבר לזה שהם שותפים לתהליך, ישנה אפשרות של הרחקה לצמיתות מיידית, אם משהו קשה קורה בתוך מסגרת בית הספר. יש כאן את התרגום של הסעיף 1 באנגלית ובצרפתית, למי שרוצה להתאמן בקריאה, זו ההזדמנות. החוק הזה מאפשר...
5 דקות טובה.
מה?
5 דקות.
אין בעיה. לא יותר מזה. שימו לב לסעיף ההרחקה, אבל שימו לב יותר לסעיף 2 ו3, שמדבר על הנושא של הזכות לחינוך לכל ילדה ולכל ילד במדינת ישראל, הסעיף של האפליה, וסעיף 10 זה סעיף הענישה. כל ענישה חייבת להיות שתכבד את הזכות שלכם כבני אדם. דיברה השגרירה הפיליפינית בהתחלה, זכויות אדם, הכבוד לבני אדם, כל ענישה שבית ספר מחליט, הוא יכול להחליט בתנאי שהוא הולם את כבוד האדם. אם יש לכם שאלות, אני פה בשבילכם. לכן אנחנו אומרים, תהפכי דף, היופי, ששפה של זכויות, שאנחנו מדברים משפה של גבולות מאוד ברורים, והגבולות הם גם לנו המבוגרים וגם לכל מי שנקרא אדם. ילדים, בני נוער, בנות, בנים, לכולם יש זכויות, אבל יש גם גבולות. הגבול של הזכות שנותנים לג'ודי, הגבול שלה זה הגבול שלי. כשג'ודי מדברת, אני שותקת, כך זה גם בכיתה בדרך כלל קורה, לכל זכות יש גבול, הזכות של אדם אחר. ומי שמאמין בשפה של כבוד וזכויות, חייב לדעת מהם הזכויות של האחרים, וכיצד הוא שם לעצמו גבול לחירות שלו, אם להתבטא ואם להשתתף. תודה.
תודה טובה. איתן, you have a question? I asked you to, yeah, go ahead.
So Let's say the teacher, I asked the teacher to go out to the restroom. She can't stop me, right?
מורה שאומרת לך לצאת מהכיתה?
לא, לא, הוא רוצה לצאת לשירותים ולא נותנים לו.
הבנתי. לא, אין דבר כזה. חוזר מנכ"ל מנחה את המורים לתת, אבל אי אפשר שכל הכיתה תצא ביחד. לכן המורה קובעת או תורנות, או מי יצא מתי. בעיקרון, יש לך זכות לצאת לשירותים.
And if I want to go fill my water bottle, do I have the, can I do that too? The water
רוצה
bottle.
למלא בקבוק מים.
המערכת קול שלי מאוד חלשה, בכל רמים אפשר.
הוא שאל אם זה למלא גם בקבוק מים.
לא.
So only the restroom?
רק לשירותים?
רק לשירותים ורק ל2-3 דקות, כן, ורק באישור המורה.
Thank you, Tova.
תודה לך.
Maya, would you like to ask something? I'm unmuting you.
Yes, I would like to say something.
רואים רק את
Let's say...
Yeah, אין מה לעשות, היא הייתה ככה קודם. Yeah, go ahead, Maya. Go ahead, sweetie. It's okay.
I do have something to say. Let's say I've been diagnosed with severe ADHD, and I've got this test I have to do, but the teacher won't let me do it in a quiet room. But I do have the rights to go to like a quiet room or somewhere else. That is not legal, right?
דבר כזה שהוא חוקי או לא חוקי, צודק או לא צודק, אתה יודע, צודק. צדק זה רק כוכב.
ברור, אבל נגיד רשום על דף שיש לי את הרשות.
סליחה?
נגיד רשום על דף שיש לי את הרשות לעשות את המבחן בחדר אחר, בחדר שקט, והמורה לא נותנת.
רגע, הבנתי, בגלל זה אמרת שצדק זה כוכב. את התנאים ללמוד ואת התנאים להיבחן, קובעת הנהלת בית ספר, יש לה מועצה פדגוגית. והם, גם אם את מביאה אבחון, שבו אומר מה שאת אומרת עכשיו, ואני מאמינה שעשו לך אבחון ראוי, עדיין בית ספר, מבחינת החובה שלו, זאת אומרת, המורים חייבים לבדוק את ההתאמה של האבחון למצב שלך בכיתה. כלומר, כשיושבים אחד לאחד לעשות אבחון, זה דבר שהוא שונה בתנאים שלו, מאשר את יושבת עם עוד 30 ילדים ולומדת. והאבחון לא נעשה במסגרת ה-30, הוא נעשה אחד לאחד. לכן בית הספר בוחן את ההתאמות ואת ההמלצות שכתבו לך בתוך מסגרת בית ספר, והוא סוברני להחליט.
אבל למשל, מורים לא יכולים להחליט מה נכון בשבילי. אם נגיד אמא שלי מדברת איתם, או אני אומרת שקשה לי להיות בכיתה, עד סף של כאילו, יש תלמידים שבוכים ממבחני מתמטיקה. זה לא משהו ש... כאילו, חייב להיות some sort of solution for that. במיוחד כמורה שבא לקראת תלמידים.
Maya, I'll send Marina Tova's phone number and you can ask her. All right, sweetie? I'm going to just let one more question because we have to end, honey. So I don't want you to not have a question and answer, but I'll do it. I'll send Marina your number, Tova's number. Okay, Sophia, would you like to ask quickly, honey? Last question. Yeah, unmute yourself, sweetie.
Okay, I wanted to ask a question about freedom of expression. When we talk about freedom of expression, does it apply only to internal expression, or does it also include external forms of expression, like the dress code, like the color of maybe my hair?
אין חופש ביטוי מוחלט.
No, I just asked it if it apply only to internal expression, or does it also include external forms of it?
אני אסביר לכם עקרונית לכולם. כל בית ספר יש לו את האופי, את החזון החינוכי. וכל בית ספר קובע לעצמו את הדרכים, את האפשרויות ואת האמצעים של הילדים, גם להביע את עצמם, גם להיבחן, גם לכתוב חיבורים, גם להציג הצגות. כל בית ספר. לכן אני אומרת שבסוגיות כאלה עדיף לפנות למועצה הפדגוגית של בית ספר, או לא יועצת השכבה.
Okay, she's asking, היא שואלת אם זכויות הבעה וזהות הם גם בדברים חיצוניים. זאת אומרת, האם היא יכולה להגיד שללכת בצבע כחול זה מה שעושה לי?
לא, בית ספר, זה בדיוק מה שאמרתי, שבית ספר קובע את הכללים ואת הנהלים, וצריך לפנות לשם.
אפשר לפנות? זאת אומרת, יש לה זכות לפנות?
בוודאי, יש זכות לפנות ליועצת, למנהלת. דיברתי על מועצה פדגוגית, כאילו, ישיבת הנהלה כזאת.
אוקיי.
אבל אם יש לה איזשהו קושי ואיזה בעיה, אני יכול לעזור לה.
אוקיי.
אני אקשר אותה. אותה או אותם, לא חשוב, כן.
I'll share with all of your teachers Tova's number and you can all ask her whatever questions you want. That was your zchut for being here today. And so we're done, and I want to thank you for being here. I'm going to show you this really cool thing that I made. Wait, just hang on one second, because I made it, and if I made it, then I want to show it, because it took me a while to make it, because I'm not all of you. Let me see if it just went, if it moved, my share. Did it move? Did you see? Look how nice that is. Aren't you all proud of me? I'm old and I used AI. Look how nice that came out.
תשלחו לי גם.
I will. Anyway, I want to thank you so much, all of you, for coming and learning with us today and being here and being so amazing. And your teachers are just as amazing and patient and wonderful. And I appreciate all of you and all of you who are here. If the ambassador is still here and if the delegates are still here and I can't see you and I can't find you, but if you're still here, then I so appreciate you being here and thank you so much for your presence and your education and your wonder. And we're very, very, very grateful for all of you and for everyone. So thank you so much, everyone, and have the rest of a wonderful day. Stay safe, everyone. Let's hope it stays safe.
A big thank you to Paula Rifkin
Oh my God.
and to Judie Segal.
I'm so
and
sorry,
to
and to
Tova
Yossi
Ben-Ari,
and to Tova and to everybody. I'm
Yossi,
so
and
sorry.
all of the staff and the teachers who are behind this wonderful day. It's so
Amazing.
enriching, and we thank you. Paula,
Thank
you
you.
rock.
Paula, you're the best. Have a good day, everyone.
זה אושר.
And I'm gonna send Paula flowers and chocolate and wine and pizza and everything.
Called Melissa too?
Yeah, Melissa, don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry. She's getting.
אני
Did you
מזמינה
stop?
אותך
Did you
בהרצליה
stop recording, Mel? She's
אני
getting a bottle of tequila. Yeah.
ג'ודי,
Yeah.
מזמינה אותך בהרצליה לדגים על הים.
יאללה. הולך. אני בעד.
יאללה. שלחי לי
Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. I appreciate all of you. You were so wonderful. Everyone was so amazing. Thank you so much. Your kids are amazing. Oh my God. I'm so jealous that you have them all the time.
יאללה,
I had a great room. Thank you, Brandon, for being here. I see you all of a sudden.
No worries. I have a quick question.
Sure.
Whoever gets the recording, someone came in and was extremely rude to the student presenting. We're like, oh, why do you talk so much? So if you see on my recording
take it
I
out.
would really appreciate that.
We'll take it out. We're going to go through it all with the fine-tooth comb anyway.
I guess I will. Yep.
Yes. No, in my room also.
You're still recording now, you know that.
I don't know why it started
Not
recording
anymore.
again. Okay, I'll stop
That's
it
okay.
again.
We'll take off the ends anyway.
It will be a new recording because I had already stopped it. I don't know why it started again.
I want to officially thank my students.
Is somebody else recording?
I'm not recording, but somebody else is recording.
Somebody else is recording.
Someone came out of a breakout room and didn't stop recording. Maya, stop.
Okay,
It's okay, we'll take it all off.
It's fine. We'll just chop it.
We're gonna
All
chop it.
right, don't have something to eat. You guys are amazing.
Paula, I love you.
Yehuda, thanks for being here. Be well.
I think I'm going to become a fireman.
Bye.
I'm going to become a
Thank you so
fireman.
much.
I managed to put out 7 fires in the last week.
Tova, thank you, sweetie.
תודה.
תודה
הביא את
לכל.
כל הטכנאים מחשבים שהביא לי את כל המערכת.
Oh my God, ועוד הבוקר, כאילו לא פחות ולא יותר.
8 בבוקר מפה.
Paula and Judy, who organized and reorganized and reorganized this day. I am so glad that it is over.
Yeah. How long did it take to make that flip book was amazing.
Judy,
it was great.
ושלושת המכשפות.
I think it was great.
I think it was the best we could have done under the circumstances.
We had at our maximum about 350 people. After a long time, we were down to 283, which is still a very nice number of people. And then 183 was already when we were coming back for the last part. And then it went as Tova wound down.
And we don't know how many more we had because they were watching the video.
So I
They
think
were watching
I
on the
checked
live
a few
stream.
times.
There were a lot of people.
Yeah.
את יכולה אבל לראות את המספרים, לא?
I don't know.